This is a story about relationship between LMT, its customers, and the society. It all started 20 years ago, with LMT being the first mobile telco out there and pushing the technological boundaries. When the competition came, they started to talk about consumer emotions, about the prices, rather than the technology. So after 20 years, we found ourselves that the emotional attachment to our brands was decreasing, the loyalty decreased, and also we saw some bleeding of the customers. As love actually taught us, love was there, but we spoke two different languages with our customer. So what we had to do, we found out, is to create a platform that could re-engage our customers, increase the loyalty, push our business in new directions, and also, of course, engage our main audience, which is employees. So we did some learning of the language, not Portuguese, but the consumer language, and found out several things. First of all, the society was quite negative towards telecommunications and pessimistic about Latvian future. Instead, our audience was very energetic, optimistic, and wanted to do things. So we, as a technology brand, could be a platform for them to voice their ideas, their things. So we did some bold moves. What we did, we used phenomena and humor that was unique to Latvia. We used provocative tone of voice to engage people, and also glorified the everyday things that people could be proud of in Latvia. So we did it in several steps. We created rumors about the upcoming change to create some interest. We did some rational campaign with media interviews, with advertising to explain the changes that were coming. We did emotional stuff like a crowdsourced movie to get our point across, media events, and so on, and also affirmative campaigns like grant program for Latvian regional NGOs. And to show you a little bit of things we did.
Transformation started with the logo that now proudly has Latvia as its focal point. The slogan is short and straightforward. Think, do. Everything that LMT did was done with pride about the country, the nation, the history, the culture, and traditions. On the web, LMT encouraged Latvians to be proud of their country that has bigger export rates than China, has wider 3G coverage than Germany, and more Olympic medals than the USA. On TV, LMT reminded the Latvians can live in a country where it's freezing half of the year, that we can have celebrations at the cemetery, that we can be in Europe, but still be friends with Russians. We can because we do. On social networks, LMT proved that each of us can be the richest person in Latvia, because everyone here owns a miracle, like a piece of peace and silence in the countryside, where you can hear your own heartbeat, the most colorful sunrise after a superb party, or a winter morning with snow up to your armpits. LMT made a movie about those who do. The authors were us, more than 6,000 mobile reporters. We captured the true Latvian spirit in moments like jumping into icy water, voting in the referendum, or singing in the biggest choir in the world. The movie was even shown in the cinema. Latvians appreciated what LMT said. Brand loyalty increased. 87% of the population noticed the rebranding campaign, gave it a thought, and were motivated to think and start doing it.
So, and we also saw some interesting results. Our friends from TMS showed that the emotional attachment increased, the long-term loyalty increased, also the potential among competitions clients increased, and we strengthened our positioning. So also business was pretty nice. We maintained our market share in terms of volume, and even increased and exceeded the benchmarks in terms of market share and value. And of course, slightly even increased the number of our B2C and total clients. Overall, we think that we did get some nice results, and similarly to the movie Love Actually, we are pretty happy. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you very much for the idea, and please help me to understand which instruments did you use to involve people, to motivate people to be involved in your project. Why people put this information about Latvia, about themselves?
So first of all, the thing was we created some content ourselves, meaning that it was meant to be provocative. As you saw, Latvians were quite pessimistic, and we put some initial content like TV, movie clips, like different types of social media applications and things like that to provoke people to act. And of course, like in social media and everywhere else, it's quite tricky to forecast any engagement. But luckily, we did have engagement both on social media, also outside social media. So basically, I think what we did, we found an insight which was pretty accurate and triggered some emotional things inside people. So, and thinking about the different types of things, for example, one thing we did was we created a grant program for NGOs in the regions. So things like people could finance children's playgrounds in small village, or finance a sports team in a small village somewhere. So this really tapped into a local pride and also got people motivated. So that was both the emotional motivation, and in some extent sometimes we also provided things like this grant contest where you could get actually some real value out of it.
Thank you. And one more question. Did you measure your groups? Did you plan what should be the amount of each group? For example, how many children you want to involve, how many adults, seniors, and etc.?
So basically, we have a segmentation model, and overall it's based on the emotional segmentation, and it covers, we had to cover at least 40% of the society, and the engagement level was by far greater than that. As you saw, 87% of the population noticed the change, and around 80% recognized that the new logo is LMT's logo, not the old one. And also, we measured the associations with the whole campaign, and also this idea of thinking and doing came across to more than half of the people.
How large that NGOs collaboration project, I mean, by percentage in the whole budget of the rebranding campaign?
No, it's actually, it was not the major part of the rebranding project. It was an ongoing part, which was part of this affirmative action. So it was in steps. At the beginning, we launched it in, I guess, 6 cities, and each city had around €2,000 budget they could compete for. And then after, in the next quarter, we repeated it, so on, so on, so on. So basically, it was not at all the major part of the project.
Anyone from audience has question? Oh, there is.
You said that before launching campaign you had such a preparation period, and during this time you had also interviews with the managers of company. So what was the messages during these interviews?
You mean like what were the conclusions?
Yeah, so what you were trying to tell?
Oh, okay. So we had, like, before launching the campaign, we had 4 to 5 months of preparation, and that was basically those interviews were mainly to research to get insights in which direction we should move. But as you yourself kind of noticed, this was also part of the campaign itself, because doing brand research involved the employees and managers and got them on board with us with the changes. So the messages we got from the managers ranged from the statements like, "I've been working here for 15 years and nothing's going to change anyway because I've been sitting in these types of brainstorms in the past," to the very excited people who said, "Yeah, that's the first time in 10 years someone has asked my opinion." So I guess what we found out is that we found a little bit of disbelief within the company, so we needed to energize those people, and then we found some enthusiastic rebels in the company that we had to use as a platform to get the message out. Did I answer your question?
Okay, time is up also. Thank you.
Thank you.